Maybe good evening outside. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the final sessions of today's conference. That is, we call panel discussion on perspectives on Canada-Nepal relationship. I'm Bhanu Acharya, faculty members of University of Ottawa Department of Communication, and I have been teaching here for 6 years. And it's my privilege to guide today's conversation on a very, very special, relevant topic. This panel discussion coincides with two important events. The first is, this year marks the 60th anniversary of Nepal-Canada diplomatic relations. And the second is Canada's efforts to diversify trade partnership beyond the United States, as renewed US tariff on President Trump's second term create uncertainty for Canadian economy. This shift may offer opportunities to strengthen bilateral relationship between Nepal and Canada, diplomatically, economically, and through the growing Nepali diaspora in Canada. Today we have three distinguished panelists, and we'll bring unique and contemporary perspectives. So, you have seen the pictures here already? His Excellency Bharat Raj Paudel, Ambassador of Nepal to Canada, diplomatic perspective. So perspectives are here, so while you are asking questions, think about that too. And Dr. Dinesh Gajrawala, an economic perspective, and Dr. Anup Basnet, diaspora perspective. So maybe they can contribute additional thoughts and insights on that. First, I would like to welcome His Excellency Bharat Raj Paudel, Ambassador of Nepal to Canada. Let me briefly introduce about His Excellency Dr. Bharat Raj Paudel. You can have a seat here, sir. A career diplomat, Mr. Bharat Raj Paudel assumed the responsibility of Ambassador of Nepal to Canada in March 2024. Earlier, he was the Foreign Secretary of Nepal from 9 October 2020 to 5 December 2023. Mr. Paudel handled Nepal's multilateral affairs as the head of United Nations, international organizations, and international law division, as the Minister of Foreign Affairs between May 2016 and October 2020. Concurrently, he was also the official spokesperson of the ministry during the period from May 2012 till May 2016. Mr. Paudel was Nepal's ambassador to Pakistan. Ambassador Paudel holds master's degree in development studies from the International Institute of Social Studies, the Netherlands, master's degrees in political science and political administration, Patrick, and a bachelor's degree in the law from Tribhuvan University, and postgraduate degrees in diplomatic studies from University of Oxford and University of Malta. Ambassador Paudel is married with Thotra Azayas, is not here today, unfortunately. And they have two children, a daughter and son. Welcome to Ambassador Paudel here. Now, I would like to welcome another esteemed panelist, Dr. Dinesh Gajrawala. Please come here. Dr. Gajrawala is an Associate Professor of Finance and Associate Dean of Research and Graduate Studies at the Faculty of Management, University of New Brunswick. His area of research expertise and interest includes international finance, financial markets, microeconomics, and empirical finance. He has published in scholarly academic journals, including the Journal of Banking and Finance, Applied Economics, and Economic Practice. Welcome to Dr. Gajrawala. Now we have the third distinguished panelist here, Dr. Anup Basnet. Dr. Basnet, welcome here. Dr. Basnet is an assistant professor in finance and the Dan Department of Management, I don't know the full form though, and Organizational Studies, Western University, London, Ontario, Canada. Previously, he worked as a lecturer, assistant professor in finance at the Surrey Business School, University of Surrey, UK. He completed his PhD in Business Administration, Finance Specialization from Concordia University, Montreal, Canada. His research is focused on the areas of corporate finance, particularly venture capital, credit ratings, corporate governance. So, welcome to the all panelists, including Basnet, Daniel, and so, a brief note before we begin. On behalf of CANFOR, Organization Committee, CANFOR means Canada-Nepal Forum for Research, and usually we word this third term, and today we didn't publish this term in a highlighted manner, so if you are confused, the CANFOR is the one that is the registered organization here, and we're organizing these activities here. I apologize for the lack of gender diversity on the today's panel, being a panel here. We approached several potential women scholars. We tried our best, but we're unable to secure participants for this date, this time. So this is and in the history of the Other Research Conference, I think this is the first panel discussion we're organizing this way. And in future, we'll try our best to correct this kind of panels, more inclusive, more diverse. So please accept our apologies for this. All right, let's move ahead to the discussion. The conversation will unfold in 3 different sessions. Okay, I didn't show the visual here, I forgot that, okay, here. And then here, Dr. Arnold Basnet. And we have the structure here, sorry. I'll carry this one too. The conversation will unfold in 3 sessions. In the first, each panelist will offer initial reflections on the Canada-Nepal relationship, diplomatic perspective from Mr. Kodal, economic perspective from Dr. Villarreal, and diaspora perspective from Dr. Basnet. Each will speak for up to 5 minutes. My daughter Kritisha is here as a timekeeper. She helps me. So for timekeeping, she's here. And in the second session, we'll deepen the discussion. In the first session, we have a general question, so they will elaborate from their perspective. And after that, I will ask the focused question. And after that, I have some follow-up question. And then in the final, there are concluding remarks, same question to everyone. And finally, QA sessions. And we have around 1 hour now, so I'll try to finish on time. In the first stage now, I would ask a general question to each panelist. You can speak up to 5 minutes if you have anything. So Dr. Anubhasan has some slides here to show, and others will be speaking hopefully by their own. So my question is, how do you situate the current state of Nepal-Canada relations? What perspectives and challenges do you see from your perspective, like Ambassador Powell from diplomatic or political perspective, Dr. Villarreal from economic perspective, and Dr. Basnet from diaspora perspective? Same question to everyone, your perspectives are different. How would you like to situate the current state of Canada-Nepal relationship? Mike is here. You can carry over the mic here. Start.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Acharya, Professor Acharya. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to CANFOR because this is, as Dr. Acharya said, kind of unusual edition in this very scientific and very, very rigorous scientific exercise in CANFOR annual Canada Research Forum. Actually, I'm grateful for the reason that they accommodated our request to add this element in this year's this conference, because as Professor Acharya said, that this year marks the 60th anniversary of Nepal-Canada bilateral relations, and we wanted to reflect that in some kind of format during this event here. Thank you very much. I'm grateful for that accommodation. To Dr. Acharya Duo. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes, as far as Canada-Nepal relations or Nepal-Canada relations are concerned, to me, they are very promising. They are very promising in all sectors. Politically, we enjoy very, very friendly, cordial relations, and essentially it is a problem-free relations. As you know that many countries may have many problems and issues in bilateral relations, but as far as Nepal and Canada are concerned, we do not have any problematic issues between us. Economically, we have been enjoying economic cooperation and partnership for many, many decades, and they have been going fairly well in the sense, since 1970, starting in 1970.
You can speak.
Is it all right? Sorry. Little bit distance. Okay. Sorry.
Working? Can you?
I think this will be okay. And starting from 1970 till 2009, Canada-Nepal economic cooperation was very much vibrant in a way, because we had bilateral as well as cooperation through the multilateral channels as well. But since 2009, the cooperation continued through the multilateral channels. Basically, that still remains pretty good in shape. Annually, still Canada supports Nepal close to the tune of 40 million Canadian dollars annually through multilateral agencies like World Bank, ADB, and United Nations system. And Canada has been very generous in supporting the United Nations system as a whole. And many of you may not be aware, so I just wanted to flag that almost all UN agencies in Kathmandu actually draw bigger or smaller amount of budget through Canadian cooperation for their work in Nepal, for example, and that includes Dr. Neupane knows very well about this. That includes Canada's very generous support to the feeding of Bhutani refugees in Nepal for many, many years. That's why economic cooperation part is also, and it is in good shape, and trade. Trade sector is, we are in rather, in a modest way, because trade between our two countries is not in very big volume, but it also depends on so many other factors, such as what do we produce, goods or services through trade, whether we have those things through trade or not. Second thing, the size of economy, and also, the volume of trade also matters. That's why we do have a good trade, but the volume is not very big. Nepal, according to the latest data, Nepal, latest means 2022, Nepal exports over $1 billion Nepalese rupees worth of trade, and imports close to 7 billion Nepalese rupees worth of trade. So, in a way, I see very good, promising prospect in Nepal-Canada relations at the moment.
so much. Let me discount the face value, but how he was introducing me. So I'm not that much expert. I'm a student who is learning. I'm learning every day. And this morning I was learning about Nepalese economics a little bit with the help of some data from World Bank and with help of some AI. So some of you guys are talking this morning as well. I agree with His Excellency in terms of our diplomatic relation. Canada has been known as one of very polite, friendly country around the world. That's the identity of we as Canadian as well. But the hard truth is that we don't have much closer economic ties. That's where perhaps with the diaspora and the diplomatic mission, His Excellency's office need to work on. We don't have much bilateral trade. Still, Canada sees Nepal through the eyes of India. That's not unusual. Many Western world try to look Nepalese or look Nepal from Western perspective and largely through the India's perspective. And that's why we need to break that ice, and where we, the diaspora community and the diplomatic mission, can work on that one. To promote the economic trading relationship, I think this is one of the greatest time in the history for Nepal and perhaps for the Canada as well to develop a new tie from the economics point of view, because two reasons. From the Nepal's point of view, we are still, I think some of our previous presenters were talking that still 60% of the working population rely on the agriculture sector. That means agriculture is still a prime employer for Nepal. And still our land is fertile, and Canada is one of the biggest market for the organic products, agriculture products. That's where we can specialize, we can market, and we can sell. But very sad truth, I recently learned that we in Nepal import like some agriculture products from Canada, and which is very, very surprising to me, and that's going to be the case. Therefore, in economics front, we can learn a lot from, not necessarily from the Canada and Nepal relationship. Let's look the relationship between US and Canada. And we have another giant big neighbor in our southern border, which exactly our southern border here in Canada, US, from Nepal southern border with India. India is going to be second or third largest, I think it's already third largest economy, and going to be perhaps the second largest economy in the world in next few decades. So if we learn how the Canada develop a very, competitive relationship with US, similar type of relation can be developed with India. For that sake, a couple of things we need to do. We need to argue based on the logic, rational, and the intelligence, not as a that tiny guinea pig. So that's where our diplomatic relationship should be built on. That's how the economic linkages should be built on. And I think that's the area we need to work on and capitalize our neighbor, so that when Western countries try to look Nepal for various reasons, they will require to open independent opinion about Nepal rather than using the Indian lens to look after Nepal. So even when we say introduce ourselves, we are from Nepal, or I was born and raised in Nepal, many Canadians assumes that, okay, that is somewhere, isn't it somewhere in India? Or somehow the connotation is always India. So they anchor with India. So I think that's where we need to work on a little bit as well. I think I'll leave to Anup for the diaspora, so more to add.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dinesh. I guess I'm going to echo the same thing that Dinesh said, that I'm not an expert on diaspora at all. And some of you have much more information about the Canadian diaspora than me. But I'm just going to give you a kind of a summary on what I've read and my own experiences. right? Music, can we go to the slides? Because we have the slides and later.
Sure.
So yeah, so if you look at the, can we get the pointer?
Okay.
Sorry about this. Thank you. I made the slide, that's why I'm doing this. So if you look at the,
Okay.
oh, yeah, thank you. So yeah, so if you look at the timeline here, most of the immigration started after 2000, right? And then this is 2021 census. We have the total Nepalese were around 21K. But again, this is an official data, right? So we have a lot of people, more Nepalese than what is here. And then I guess post 2021, post-COVID era, you might have heard about a lot of Nepalese students coming to Canada, right? And yeah, next slide. So this was where I was pointing towards. So if you look at this is the total data of all the students for me, right? So it's not just from Nepal. I'm just trying to show that, okay, out of all of these numbers, just look at 2023, that's the total students coming to Canada. We are, I haven't said it, so we are the 5th highest immigration number of students, right? So a lot of people came. And it's just not the students, it's just a direct permanent residency through which we have come here as well. So most probably that's the primary channel before, right? And then these days it might be students who then later become the permanent residencies. Now, just to talk, now I will skip about this because this is something that we all know. Right? Why do you mind it? Because life is a little bit better. That we already know. In terms of what we have done in terms of cooperation, like for example, what we have here, the Canada conference, right? So we are involving all Nepalese here, and we could see a lot of Nepalese related studies as well, right? That's useful to Nepal, a little bit to Canada as well, right? NRNA through those as well, we have been either directly involved when it was the earthquake time or any other issues, right? And there are a lot of other indirect collaborations that I can say. We have a lot of grocery stores, business houses here who bring products from Nepal and sell it here. It could be the reverse as well, right? And then there are other indirect channels like the academic contributions, in the sense that there are people who collaborate, academic people in the universities who collaborate back to Nepal and then with the publications. Maybe those are very few in number, but still we have some of those. Right. I guess that's the major ones that I would like to highlight, right? But then there could be a lot of other things that we are doing at an individual level as well, right? So yeah, thank you. Yes. Oh.
Hello. Right. Okay, thank you for the initial thoughts on different perspectives. His Excellency Mr. is saying it's growing, going to the right direction. Dr. Gajrel and Baskin are a little critical, and they're saying not good trade. Canada sees Nepal from India's lands, so things are this way. So in the second round, I'll ask a little difficult question to each of you. So I'm just trying to show you this article that I published in 2015. It's all about Nepal-Canada relationship. And it was the 50th glorious anniversary of bilateral relationship between Canada and Nepal. During that, maybe many of you have gone through, otherwise it is already available in the Kathmandu Post website. My question to His Excellency Ambassador in the second round is here. Nepal established its embassy in Ottawa in October 2009. In 2015, Canada's then minister, during the 50th anniversary interactions, Dr. Kaylee Leach, during a meeting with State Minister of Labor and Employment of Nepal, Tek Bahadur Gurung, she said Canada was working and thinking to establish an embassy of Canada in Nepal. Today, after 1 decade, I'm asking the same question. Has there been any progress regarding Canada's official diplomatic presence, not embassy even, in Nepal? Question number 1. How has Canada prioritized Nepal as a strategic trading partner in recent years, in your understanding? Your Excellency, Butterfly Portal here. Yep, just on here, yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Rarsal. Thank you. Very pertinent two questions. As regard to the how far has been the progress on establishment of diplomatic presence in Kathmandu, Canada's diplomatic presence in Kathmandu, I can report that the progress so far has been keeping the agenda alive. So far, until last year, the agenda was limited at the level of the diplomat like myself. And since last year, this matter has risen up to the political level, that is the minister's level. In a conversation between the two foreign ministers last year, Canada was very candid in saying that, as we all know, establishing of a diplomatic presence and embassy in certain capital, that decision is taken after considering several factors like economic, strategic, and also the how I can say economic and strategy basically. And as far as Canadian friends are concerned, they have reiterated with us that it is the economic factor that has kept this agenda under consideration in their system. And from our side, we have pushed it, of course, with so many other reasons. With the major push point from our side has been the number of increasing diaspora in Canada, Nepali diaspora in Canada. And on that, they have a view that still they do not have a very minimum threshold of visa applicants from Nepal to Canada. That is 25K. And according to their statistics, it is much lower. So that is one. And second, Rarsal, it was about the trade.
How has Canada prioritized Nepal as a strategic trading partner in recent
Okay,
years?
this is a very big question in a way, because to be a strategic trading partner, it depends on how much we trade and what do we produce to things or services to trade, goods or services to trade. And also, we have to see from both sides. When you have the opportunity to trade very significantly at your doorstep, you don't want to go away, because trade always happens when it is beneficial and has a comparative advantage of distance and freight and insurance cost also, in addition to many other things. So when you trade at your doorstep, it automatically carries the comparative advantage for you. So as far as Canada is concerned, for so many decades, Canada had a comfort of trading with the United States across the border, right from east to the west. And at the moment, there has certain, status quo has changed, but to treat Nepal as a strategic trading partner, it might take some time for us. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Okay, so actually I do have couple of follow-up questions, but because of the time, I'm not asking now, and I will hope you guys will ask the very sharp, focused question later on that I'm thinking but not asking now. Okay, this goes to Dr. Gajral, and here is a question for you. So Nepal's foreign aid inflows have declined over the past 2 decades, and the country is said to graduate from least developed